All right, I will bring this meeting to order. It's 5:47 of the International Falls Economic Development Authority. Anyone in the audience have anything to bring up to the EDA this evening? Come on up. Okay.
The dates are still out there.
I just looked.
We're getting a finance officer to do that, so it's going to be pretty rocking. All right, thank you.
Yeah.
All right. I offer you guys the minutes of the March 27th, 2016 meeting.
Move approval.
We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion or the second? Hearing none, question?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
I'll vote yes. It's 4-0. Financial reports. We have the cash in bank right now of $206,783.75. We have cash in the bank at Bremer of $46,967.57. Notes receivable of $89,687.22 for a total assets of $343,438.54. Our liabilities, we have accrued wages and salary pay of $2,685. Deferred revenue of $89,687 for a total liabilities of $92,372. Our fund equity is $228,480.10, and our revenue expenditures are $22,586.44 for total liabilities and equity of $343,438.54. Your pleasure with the financial reports.
Move to approve.
We have a motion. We have a second.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? None? Question?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
I'll vote yes. Next, we have to adopt a resolution. There was a new piece of paper, new paperwork that came in before the meeting from the office to try to get everything on the same page as how the city does their business. So we'll be doing these approving payment of claims and accounts payable just to make it a cleaner system. So we have total bills this month of $1,500 for unemployed benefits, and we have $143 for professional services. Pleasure.
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion to approve. We have a second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? None? Question?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
And I'll vote yes. I think my voice is finally hitting the point where I'm going to be done. All right, report on Voyage Forward Retail Analysis meeting on April 13th. I apologize I was not able to attend. I'm pretty much locked up every Wednesday night because I can't say no to volunteering, apparently.
President?
Please.
What I found interesting was on page 9 of the report where it shows the local shoppers in our market as compared to the market. And I think this is only from a business perspective. I thought that they had an actual analysis with some. But anyway, it shows that over half of our shoppers come from outside of the area, which I thought was interesting. For reasons I'll explain later. I'm not going to get into it now. I think it's interesting.
Again, I apologize I was not able to attend.
I would just add, President, that the on Bennett and Ryan Pesch did a fine job of presenting the information. I think as Commissioner Jackson points out in this case, that it was a lot of good data. I think that the Small Business Development Corporation will use some of that, and certainly I think some of the small businesses in the community can find along that kind of information has got value, but hopefully it'll be for the better part of a year.
Audience, want to bring something up regarding the retail analysis report?
So this really,
All right.
that's my turn.
Moving on to project update report. Ken, do you have anything to bring up for that?
Actually, I do not right now. I would just point out, Mr. President, is that I did include in the packet that we prepared on Friday just an article that I found on, I get a number of emails over the course of a day, and I decided I would copy this and pass it on for the EDA's information. There's something about how local governments must engage residents to transform distressed neighborhoods, and based on some of the comments we get during our audience portion, and of course the council is familiar with some areas where, in some specific properties where we have some blight and issues that we want to address. I just thought that this was timely in providing information, and it points out that what they talk about here is that this study indicates that it takes a lot more of a comprehensive approach to planning for neighborhood revitalization and redevelopment to improve lives rather than just select kinds of things. And so I think some of the efforts that the Residential and Commercial Building Advisory Committee and that the EDA move forward with, as well as Voyage Forward, we need to think about ways to try and look at this issue from a comprehensive standpoint. And a lot of that can start if and when we move forward with the comprehensive planning approach too, which will...
May I add? Yeah, thank you. The Residential and Commercial Building Committee reached out to the Minnesota Housing Finance Agencies, and there's a number of grants available. Capacity building, we did send in a letter of inquiry. I have not gotten a response, so I don't think we're going to get that, be in the running on that one. But need some support. It's got to come from citizens, because we don't have the staff to really manage a comprehensive neighborhood revitalization program. So the committee is really essential to having us realize any progress in there, I think. I also wanted to say that I take off from there on a different topic, if I may, and that would be Bruce Carmen did contact me on the aquaponic farm. They are moving very quickly ahead on the Silver Bay project. They did get their funding. It moves up. He's talking about coming to meet with us again to talk about the aquaponic farm for International Falls. So that's still alive and well, just to let you know. He is looking for investors. The project is not contingent upon investors, but he's welcoming investment in this. So I was going to reach out to KEDA, if that would be our economic development agency that we have, to try to put together some effort in that area to help with that. I have not heard anything. Does anybody have an update on Larry Keep's project at all, or where are we with that?
Mr. President,
Please.
I did send an email to Mr. Keep last week and just indicated that we visit the conditional use permit application that's been, he's extended once, and it's time to do that again. I have not heard a response from him on that as yet, and I sent something to him.
Project updates. Any other business to come before the EDA? Okay, you can move in. Commissioner Briggs isn't even here. Sit down.
You're all obviously familiar with Voyage Forward. And I would attend the KEDA meetings if they weren't during the day. I have to work. I'm a little lost as to the direction we're going, the destiny driver of developing an organizational framework to lead and facilitate implementation of key economic development strategies. It was my understanding in all of these destiny driver meetings that occurred prior to this that the EDA and KEDA would be joining together to at least create some sort of regional partnership. We can't get rid of the entities because of policies, statutes, contracts that are in place for financial reasons, things of that nature. I get it. But moving forward, just reading the paper and minutes from KEDA and being here, really not having any communication as an EDA advisory board member, I just question where we're going, what our involvement's going to be as an EDA. I think the idea of having a regional partnership that's marketing the county as a whole to look for investors for programs, to market us, is an exceptional idea. It was recommended by those really expensive consultants we brought in. I'm just wondering where we're going, what the plan is. I feel like as an Economic Development Authority, we haven't really discussed this much, and it's right here. It's a destiny driver. This is it. We have to become involved. We have to do something, and I don't feel like we are.
I think that has been getting addressed in the economic response team meetings. Do you want to take this? I know that you have been with the economic response team in the past, way longer than I have, and how we've got to where we're at right now.
Consultants didn't have a full picture of how things operated here. I don't think they understood the statutes and some of the responsibilities that came with the and funding that came with the statutes, the creation of the International Falls EDA and so forth. And so I think that they certainly have, I think, provided a good direction that we need to have one voice, one group that's leading economic development, and I think that KEDA would be the organization that would do that. I think we want to see the Voyage Forward and the Destiny Drivers continue very strong. Want to have citizen involvement in those. I'm not sure that one in itself is going to be something that will really add to making KEDA or this organization any stronger, and but I think we do need to continue to work towards to one voice and one group.
Mr. Mayor, and I was under the impression that we were, I guess the way I've been following this is that we were waiting for a report from Mike Welcome et al. On the recommendations for a structure forthcoming from Voyage Forward effort before we,
I think that's another driver, if I may. Isn't that another driver? Because isn't...
No, this is it.
Well, there's another driver that sets up a reporting system and a structure for
sustaining
Voyage Forward.
And
yes.
there's developing an organizational framework to regionalize our efforts, to have that one voice.
Okay, so there's two.
So there's two
Structures.
Two
Okay.
separate drivers.
And I think there's been discussion, I know there has been between myself and Mr. Welcome, and I know that he spoke with a couple of county board members, and I believe he spoke with Mayor Anderson. I think there is a different idea, a different approach. I think we all want that to happen. It's just how it happens. And I think that, that's going to come down to some give and take on both entities, because I know that I am not personally in support of the way Mike sees it, and on the flip side, me and Mike, or Mike doesn't necessarily agree with me, and I think that everyone he spoke with has a different idea of what it is. So I think at some point we need to sit down, and we have been, we have attempted to reach out to Mr. Welcome to sit down and hammer out those ideas.
And may I but I know you're frustrated, because I know I mentioned it at the last meeting, reading the articles in the paper, that looks like we're back to where we always been. And I'm, like I said before, I take your word for it. I got to work on this. We got to work on this together and get the differences worked out. Actually, we spend a lot of money to get this information from these people. We've called, and I've said this before, we called the public to come and help. and get involved and help. So I think we got to get it all together, KEDA, us, Voyage Forwards, and have to get one plan, or it's all a big waste of money, and it'll be just like it's been the last 25 years, and we'll be all still sitting here. And every time I think of this, I think of that big old rock we got out there called the free trade zone that's been here for how long?
Absolutely.
And we don't want stuff like that to happen again. We got to get some momentum, and we don't want to lose the momentum, because she's here at every meeting full of, pardon my French, piss and vinegar and ready to go, and doesn't let us just slide by, and we don't want to lose that.
That's right.
And with all these people, so that's all I have to say about that.
Well, and it's, I couldn't agree with you more. I think there hasn't been any money invested in that foreign trade zone out there. We've invested as a on the riverfront, and we have and gave us over 100 recommendations. This was one.
I understand that.
But this is.
But then we're going to get back to the same thing.
You can't put the cart before the horse. This, I feel like we have a red hot mess right now in Couchiching County, and having a partnership where we're all on the same page and we all have the same goals of improving our economics. This is the horse. You can't put the cart before the horse. In my opinion, all of the other Destiny drivers, it comes second to this. We have to get everybody on the same page and in the same room to start moving forward. We won't have a future without it. So this Destiny driver, Mike is the champion. We haven't met yet because of these issues. That there's still some questioning about what this looks like. I think we just need to meet, and when that date is set, I'm a steward of this Destiny driver. I'm sending you all a very personal email, and I hope and expect that you will all be there so that we can all be on the same page. And I will be telling KEDA the same thing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alyssa, for your commitment to follow through.
Any other new business to come?
I just have one thing to say.
Imagine that.
Never.
Has anybody watched the PBS program on Utica, New York?
No.
Okay. Well, they were a dying community, industrial community, and they took the tact of becoming a haven for refugees. And their community has turned around. I don't know, has anybody seen that? Oh, well. Okay, you should go on the internet and watch it because it's quite compelling. And thinking of ideas. We're an international border community. Maybe we can run with that. Ideas are cheap, but it's in the execution. But so I'm just throwing it out there at this point. But go and see that. Utica, New York, PBS. What happened to that community when they? Our biggest problem in Couch County, by the consultant's own analysis, is that we lack a workforce. That's number one. Refugees provide energy, entrepreneurship, that's the history of immigration in our country, so just something to think about.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other new business? Going once? Going twice? We adjourn.